Okay everyone, so we got to play with the Augment Core for a few days, and now we get to max it out at an accelerated rate. So you don't have to pull from this, we can get Smelted and Fulminare cores from various parts of the event, and also get to buy small amounts weekly in the shop. But I really just wanted to get in there and do some gameplay, and you can't really show what the Valkyrie can do unless you have it, and you can use it in different areas so that people can compare it to whatever else they want to. Anyway, I'm just gonna play this at 3 times the speed because there aren't really any rare stuff in this. It's basically just buying Fulminare cores at 60 crystals each. But of course, there'll also be a chance of getting Smelted cores, 4-star upgrade materials, and a really low chance at getting the 3rd Sacred Relic or Schrodinger Band parts. So anyway, some players recently asked me if I look at leaked information and if I could talk about it. Here's the thing though, and since it's kind of related, I'll just mention it real quickly in this video. So I assumed that everyone knew what a test server was, but apparently not. So I'm not here to judge anyone who didn't know the difference, but leaked information, usually depending on how much or what kind of information was leaked, could get the source into a lot of trouble. But of course, some companies, they do it on purpose because, they just label it as leaked information, they don't officially announce it, and then it's kind of like a marketing ploy, to increase the hype of certain content. In this case though, and with many cases before this regarding Honkai Impact, we're actually getting the information from a test server. I do follow that kind of information, but it's from 1 or 2 of these Japanese YouTubers who do have access to the test server, which is actually based off the Chinese server. So a lot of games, they will either have a test or advanced server, and it was more commonly seen in MMORPGs or MOBA. And these servers are like mirror dimensions? They're the same game, but nothing you do or acquire here can be brought back to your main account in the real game. So for some games, they have like a server-wide announcement and everyone is invited to try it out. And some games, they just like randomly select players and just give them access individually. The reason they do this is because they need to test new stuff more extensively and generally with a larger crowd, just to see how the new content will work out in various aspects of the game. Also, it's for the players to really push the limits and see if there might be any unintended consequences. So of course, test server accounts will have all the new content and everything maxed out. Sometimes though, they might be incomplete, like they might not have a finalized name or artwork. So the data gathered from the use of the new content will then be used by the developers to tweak anything that might break the game, be too game-changing, and well, basically anything beyond the originally intended impact that the new content should have on the game. So if you happen to watch like some of the Japanese YouTubers from Honkai, they do title their videos properly. For example, these videos, they say beta test. And that's where I usually keep a lookout for what's ahead, but I rarely do that. I mean, it's nice to know what might be coming, but if it's gonna get changed, then I'll just wait for the content to reach me when it's supposed to, so I don't feel like I'm using a nerfed version, or that I'm using something lousy just because I saw something else that wasn't balanced. Personally though, as you might know, I'm not really technical, so I'm just the kind of guy who's like, okay, give me the controller and let's roll. So then I get my ass kicked a few times, and sometimes I end up asking really stupid questions, and that's that. Admittedly, it can make me a pretty bad player, but hey, everyone is looking for something different when they play, right? So anyway, yeah, that kind of clears up what I wanted to say, and we're just about done with the gacha. Oh yeah, but I almost forgot. So you could actually go to bilibili.com. It's like basically the Chinese YouTube, and then you could just type in Honkai, just one word, and once you get the search results, just copy the Chinese title for Honkai Impact 3, paste it there, and there you go. So you can check out just about anything that you want from the advanced server, from the Chinese server, and if you can type in Mandarin, then all the better. Alright, so we're done with the gacha. I got enough cores to upgrade the Augment Core to 5 stars out of 6. And we do currently have the event Path of Apotheosis, so I think I'm gonna get the remaining cores from there. So anyway, this is the only skill that's not learned if you're not at 6 stars. Of course, there are other skills that are not maxed out. So once you get to 6 stars, you'll get this and the other skills to max. I'm not too sure how much like the rank of Bladestrike will affect the augmented version, because mine's already at triple S. So if anyone wants to know, just ask in the comment section. I will try my best to look for the answer. Otherwise, if anyone else knows, then please do let us know as well. Okay, so this stage was done with a 2-star augment core. It's actually the Striker Files. So it's not like a really standard stage. It's also one of the stages where you can only use Valkyrie Bladestrike. But why I did this, or why I'm showing this, is because this was done with a 2-star core. And honestly, it doesn't feel too bad. She still has all the moves that she should have. I think the difference would be like, you might lack some critical rate buffs. Also, maybe a little bit of damage on stuff like her combo attacks or her ultimate. So it's not too much like how the A rank Valkyries were, where if you don't upgrade from A to S rank, you don't have your QTE, you don't have certain stuff. You basically have everything. It's just that you don't have certain buffs that make her really, really strong. Like, she does have stuff that increases your critical rate with your combo, or increases your damage, or it gives you an extra EM stack when you're doing, like the skill I showed you, doing your ulti, and then you get an extra stack. So what the stack is for is when you're doing your evasion and you tap attack halfway through it, she will do that move where she throws the blade, and then you can dash right away using your combo attack. And honestly though, if you're in need of Valkyries and you do have a little bit of crystals to spare, I think she might actually be worth pulling for from the special supply, because it's not too expensive, and that's if you compare it to like S-rank Valkyries where you have to just have more than 20,000 crystals, I guess. Also, like, her equipment is quite general. You could use like the Michelangelo TNB, you could use Schrodinger Band TNB, you could even use what they recommend, which is the Ekaterina full set, or you could even use Attila if you're really, really pressed for equipment. You could also use Picasso TNM, or even Celine, because the 2-part is exactly like Jingwei's wings, but for Yae Sakura and Raiden Mei. So she is really great at chasing down opponents. Previously, I think Miko was the only one who could do that with her combo attack, but now the augmented Bladestrike can do it more consistently and better, I mean faster as well. Also, her ultimate, or burst, whichever you call it, does a lot of damage when you activate it, and it increases your attack range, so that makes chasing even better. Okay, so this stage is also from the Striker Files, but it kind of showing off her QTE. As you can see, her QTE will do 1,000% more damage. 1,000 times would be freaking insane. Anyway, so that means it's 10 times more damage, which is still good. But, you know, I always like time slow QTEs. I don't know why, maybe because just about everyone at least has a time slow or a time fracture. But that aside, I mean, they really did a good job with her QTE this time. The previous one was way too slow. I mean, look at this one. It's really fast, and you can really follow up after it. And that's really what she should be about, because the previous one, it was so bad. I mean, she's a Valkyrie that swarms the enemy with a flurry of attacks, and you go ahead and give her like this one nuke attack, which isn't even much of a nuke anyway, and it really contradicts what she's about. I think that QTE really feels like a Himiko instead of a Raiden Mei, so that's... yeah, this is a really, really good change. I'm not too sure if anyone would use the old Bladestrike, maybe in like some stages where they require you to hit a really high amount of combo, and your characters are dealing way too much damage for you to do that. That's where she was useful. But that was all that she could do, and there weren't too many stages. There still aren't many stages that you have to do that, and even if there are, you only have to do that once, so this is a really, really good upgrade. Okay, so finally a stage where you can actually do a comparison with other Valkyries that you might bring to it, and she also has a really practical use here. That's why I chose the stage, and basically anyone who's gonna do a showcase, I would assume would also choose this stage, because it is weak against bio characters, and that's naturally where you use bio characters. So, I would say she did kind of exceed my expectations, so in many cases, she is definitely a good choice for a bio attacker. So anyway, I just brought the Herrscher of the Void for this round for her leader skill, and the Celestial Hymn for her support, but it's mainly just to show you what the Striker Fulminata can do. So I'm not gonna use the Herrscher of the Void to deal too much damage, maybe like try to break a shield, or mainly just to activate your QTE. Oh, this skill. Yeah, I gotta run from it, otherwise it's gonna kill me. Okay, so that's all for the Augment Core. Thank you guys for watching. This has been MG, and I will see you guys soon.